Welcome to our YouTube channel again. This is Isan Koza from Koza Trading, and today we have the most iconic and famous CD player from Bang Olufsen. It is the BeoSound 9000 Mark 1. It's the version 1, and yes, it has been produced in 96 and all the way up to mid 2000. And it has been produced in Mark 1 version, Mark 2 version, and Mark 3 version. Designed by the famous designer David Lewis. He has done a pretty good job about design, and it's still very modern look. Still 20 years later. The dimension is 30 by 90 and it's only 7 centimeters thick, without the brackets, and it's weigh around 11.5 kilograms. The BeoSound 9000 has some many options, connection options. It has a MasterLink, PowerLink, and also a power cord, and it also has a phone mini jack. As I said, this is the first edition. It's the Mark 1 version. But how can we see what version we have at home, or if you want to purchase one a day? If you flip, this lid is damaged, so be aware of that. So you can flip it here and remove the keyboard, the remote keyboard, and here you can find the type number. Type number 2521 or 2522 is normally Mark 1 version. If you are looking after a Mark 2 version, it will be 2562, or Mark 3 version, it will be 2572. The difference between the versions is the Mark 3 versions. Let's start about Mark 3 version. It has a pin code, and the slide mechanism are much faster. And the Mark 2 version has a upgradable from N-Music. So everybody, the design and the look is absolutely the same. Mark 3 version has no power button, but I have seen someone has and someone not has. So yes, today we're gonna deassemble it. We're gonna take all the parts out and see how Bang & Olufsen has built this BeoSound 9000. I will take every part out if I can, one by one, and show the build quality and what is inside the BeoSound 9000. So I think the first thing I need to do, I will take the front glass off. So let's begin. So first thing we need to do, we can push the glass, or if you have in the power cord, use the opening mechanism and open the lid up. At the lid there's one screw here and one screw here, so we're gonna begin by that. If the power cord is not connected, you can just lift the glass up. It will say a little click, and there's one screw here, so we can just unscrew it, and it will be easily to remove. And the other side, here we go. And here is the lid, and this is the glass. I think also the glasses has been improved over times with the MK2 version. So we're gonna put this one aside. Next step will be removing the lids. The lids has been damaged. I don't know how, but it's damaged by the previous owner. So we're gonna remove that. You can normally stick a screwdriver here and lift it up, but in this case we can just remove it. And here is the lid. I'm gonna put this one aside, and we can also remove the keyboard. You can use this keyboard as a remote control for your BeoSound 9000, and we can also put this aside. Next step will be removing the lid. You need to lift and push same time, and it will go off. And here is the lid. We're gonna put this one aside, and you can also see the difference. There's some holes here, and this one has only these holes. I'll put this one aside. Next step will be removing the I think I will go for removing this CD slide, and maybe we should remove this one. Yes, let's try to remove this cover and continue. So there are some screws we need to remove. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll doing that and speed up the process. Also, normally there will be, I've removed some screws. I just forgot to tell you, there will be a sort of lid cover you can remove. This one has been removed, but I don't know where it is, but we have some in stock, but in this case we will be remove it in any way. So I finally removed the screws, but I think there is also one screw here. So I will power the BeoSound up and move the CD drive or the slide over here so we can engage with the screw. I think there's some screw here we need to remove. We have finally removed the CD slides. We can now freely remove the slide. So we can put it in this place. It's actually the service place. So we can finally remove the last screw. The last screw is out and we can lift it up. There are some connections we need to be aware of. So I will place in this position, I will place in the anti-static mat. So let's do that. So after removing the screws from this chassis, we can finally lift it up. Beware of, you must put the anti-static mat and some bands on, since we are sorry, we are working with the electronics now. So we can lift it up. We need to remove the connections and this one. And here is the complete chassis with the lids and connections. I think I will put this one aside and remove the parts soon after the video. Not after the video, but I think after the slide mechanism. Put it here. So next step will be removing the slide mechanism. So first thing we need to do is remove this beautiful cover. I think we should be able to remove it. It will be loose this way. Here we go. This way, and you will be able to remove it. And here is the cover. It's very beautiful. Next step will be removing this cover. Just be gently and remove it slowly. And here we go. This is the cover top. Next step is to remove this one. Here we go. Actually, the Bang Olufsen have made this very easy to remove and also easy to replace the CD laser. Next step will be removing these holder. So I will do that. And here we go. Remove these ones and the other one. And now I think we can easily, no, not now, but I think we also need to remove, there's one tiny screw here, or yeah. Yeah, I think we need to remove this one, otherwise this can't go up. Yeah, let's try to remove that, we go. Okay. You need to push here and you'll be able to open it up. And now you have removed this one, the CD slide. So we're gonna put this one aside. In this position, you'll be able to remove the CD laser. So we can also see how we can change the CD laser. You can open the CD slide here. So we're gonna do all the details in this video. We also need to open this one. It's very, I think there's many years I have opened a complete BeoSound 9000, but let's do that. And here's the PCB board 10 and 15. Here we go. Let's remove this one. To maintain the CD laser, you must open it up. Not sure. Here we go. Here we go. Underneath here is the laser unit. Try to save the springs. Put the springs aside. You need to remove, there's a cable you need to remove here underneath. Here we go. Push, 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 and you'll be able to remove the seed laser. Here's the seed laser. Let's try to remove these ones. We will put it in on soon. And this laser is from Mark 1 version. And so how we change the laser? You need to remove the laser from here. So yeah, I'm gonna show you how to do it. So we need to remove the laser from this slide here. I think we can remove this slide here, and we can push it up. So in this case, we need to remove this one and flip it. Move it here. And we need to remove the white dot, white plastic. This one was from this side, so we just need to pull and remove it. And now I think we can remove the axle. Here we go. And now the laser is off. So remove this one, put it here, and now you can replace the laser unit. Put this one back in here, and with the small dots, what it's called, pins, or what do you call it. So it needs to be placed like this here, but you need to put this one under, and it also needs to click in. So there is many methods you can do it. You can place it like here. Oh, put this one back in again. I'll just put it up here. Put it back in. And you can place this under here. And let it click here first. Like that. And now the seed laser is complete, and you just need to place this plastic thing, and this plastic thing can only be found in the Mark 1. The Mark 3, I think this is screws you need to screw on, part of what I can know. So place this and screw all things back in again, flip it, and this cable needs to be attached here. So flip it, and it can be very hard, so flip it and put the cable in back underneath this one. And also do not forget to put the springs. The springs need to be located right here. boom, boom. And the last one needs to be placed like here. So this is the suspension. So it needs to be, you can also place it like here. So it's ready. If it's not holding, you can also maybe press it down so it's holding. So you need to be glide underneath here again. So it's actually easy to change the laser. If you don't have it done before, it can be tricky. So in this case, we need to remove all the parts. So we'll remove this CD laser again. Just lift up. Here we go. Here's the CD laser, and let's try to remove. Need to remove. I think let's remove. I think we should let it be like this and sell it like this. If someone needs the complete drive unit, we can set it like this. So let's place it here. Let's move on. So let's try to remove all the cables. Remove this one, this here and here, and there's one screw we need to remove. Go. And this is the PCB board 15. Put it here. Here's the motherboard. PCB 10. Normally the PCB 10 can be damaged also. Let's say if you have changed the whole CD mechanism and also the new laser, and you're still wondering why your system is still not working, the answer can be on the PCB board 10 in the Mark 1 version. The PCB board 10 is changing. I think there's in the Mark 2 is 40 and Mark 3 is 41. So we can pull this one and this one, and this one is controlling the motor. Here we go. This is the PCB 10 is for VAM 1205 only. I'm gonna put this here and remove it here. Here we go. And we also need, here we go. This is the complete motor drive for Mark 1 version. So let's try to remove all the cables here and remove the PCB board 16. It's underneath here. Yeah, this video I think is gonna be long. We have deassembled the glass. We have I've showed you how to remove the CD laser and replace it again. So now you can easily remove the laser and also see what's inside the BeoSound 9000. Let's see if we can remove this one. The cable's gone. Remove the screws. And actually this unit is fully functional. I'm just showing the process, the parts, everything just for you. and for my audience and for my followers, and also if somebody needs a part or needs how to change the power supply board or this one, everything, the motor gearing, everything. So let's try to remove this one. And here's the motor for the drive mechanism. I think this one is for the placing the CD place. And here's the motor. And we need to remove this one. Here we go. And this is the PCB board 16. Put it here. So next step will be removing those 2 screws, and also all the parts I'm taking out from this BeoSound 9000. It will be ready for sale. And here it goes, the other parts from the CD slide. And remove this one. Here we go. Remove this pin from here. Oh, I think there is a spring. Normally there's a spring. There we go, there's some parts here. Let's try to zoom out from the BeoSound 9000 and focus on in this area. So in this process we have finally removed the complete slide halfway. So I think we should continue removing, start from here and removing all the way from here. So let's try to remove the gearing motor for the glass. The gearing motor, there are some screws down here we need to remove. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna speed up the process again, just removing the screws. Okay, I think we should, before we work with this top part, let's remove this plate. I think we can put it upside down. So there's some screws we need to remove here, and also some here we need to remove. So let's plastic dots, and beware not damage these dots, the plastic parts. Pull in and press up. And there's 3 screws on each side. I'm gonna speed up the process again. Okay, I can hear after the last screw, I can hear the aluminum plate was gonna fall down. So let's put it in place again. So we have finally removed all the screws down here, and we also for removing the screws, you need to remove these dots from the back of the BeoSound 9000. There is some additional 6 screws, and after the 6 screws, you can just pull this up and remove the cable. And here is the other part, and also the second mechanism. I'm thinking to remove all the parts, and I'm gonna remove all the parts from this one also. I'm gonna put this one aside, and here is the other part from the CD slide. So next step will be still removing the gearing motor. So we're gonna remove that. I just need to remove the screws. The screws is finally removed from the gearing motor. All the screws is removed, and just remove the ground cable. And remove this one. And here is the gearing motor for the glass mechanism. It's complete and fully functional, and the belt is located here. If your belt is broken or is not fully functional, you can change by doing that. I'll put this one aside. Next step will be removing this one. And this is the PCB board. I don't know what PCB board is, but here it is. Next step will be removing the transformer board. So we're gonna do that. Unscrew, there's 4 screws we need to unscrew, and we have finally removed the screws. There's 4 screws here and 4 inner screws. think we just can lift it up. There's a cable here we need to remove. So remove the plastic cover. And this is the relay. I think this is the relay. So remove the cable from here. And the cable from the power supply board. And the microprocessor board. And here, just need to remove the cables. And here is the power supply, not power supply, but the transformer for the BeoSound 9000. I'll put it here. Let's try to see if we can remove this one. There we go. And this is the PCB board 5. Here. I was strange why I can't remove this one. It's stuck. So next step will be removing the whole drive mechanism. Oh, okay, that was not in the plan to do that. It was that was funny. I've never experienced that before, so it popped right off. So okay, strange. So I got it also on tape. That's great. So we're gonna remove this one. This whole wiring glide thing. So all the screw is finally removed. Let's try to lift it up. Remove the cover. And remove, there's one screw left. I hope it's the last screw for this one. Remove it. Take the spacer off and let's try to lift it up. And here we go. Sometimes these wheels can be very off and need to be changed. So yeah, we also have this in stock. We're gonna leave this here. It's also a very long process to remove all these cables from the board all the way down. So let's try to remove the power supply board and the micro board. Remove the cables. I think we can zoom in a little bit. Remove the cables. There we go. Go. Remove the cover. And there's some cables we need to remove. I think there's some holders for them. Just need to pop them out. So that's the first one. Second one, first one, and the final. There you go. I think we can just move all the cables here. I'm not sure what is holding this back. And normally, extra information. Normally, this board here is can be very tricky to remove, and also there is many failure on this board. We have sold many pieces of this one. So yes, okay. I don't know why it's not can come off, but let's try to remove the. I think this is the motor controller. This controller controls this one, and also can be failure on this board. And here is this is the PCB board 18 from BeoSound 9000 MK1 version. I'm still wondering why this one is not. So we can finally remove this board. I don't know why it was stuck, but it came off. So it was stuck on the ground connection for the chassis. So let's remove all the cables. And here is the PCB board 3 for the BeoSound 9000 MK1 version. So let's move on this area. Let's remove the motor itself for the CD slide. I don't know, it can be very messed here, so let's just continue. Here is the motor itself. Just need to remove the ground connection, and here is the motor itself. It's the PCB board 9, I think it's the 9. Next step will be removing the FM board and AM. I think we just need to put it up. There's no screw holding the board back, only some screws and the ground connection. And there's one screw. And here is the PCB board 87. I think this is the AM and the FM, and this is the digital. No, it's also the. I think it's also the FM. And this one came in different versions. And next step will be so many dust in here. So also it's very good to clean the board, but this one is also holding no screws, only some cables we need to remove. And here is the PCB board 2. And the MasterLink input and PowerLink input. Next step will be removing this one. We have removed the screws from this board. Just need to remove the cables. And this is the PCB board 23. So next step will be removing this one and remove the cables from the chassis. Remove it, and we can take it off. And here is the other chassis part. I'll put this one aside. And let's try to remove the cables. We should be able to remove the cables. Okay, this one is going up and down here. And let's try to figure out how we're gonna remove it. I think that they also have glued it together. So can't even remove this one. Okay, if it's glued on, let's leave it like this, because if somebody needed it, we're gonna set it like this. So yeah, cool. As you can see, there is a lot of parts at the table. This process is a very long process, so let's try to remove all the cables. There's one cable that goes from here and over to the cable here. Let's try to remove the cable for the on-off switch. And here is the on-off switch. And we have also sold a lot of this one. some customers have broken the pin or they have done something, but we have sold a lot of this. Next step will be removing the sensor. Let's try to, if we can. So we have managed to flip the, not flip, but move the chassis so we can see what we are working with, and also show for the content view. We can remove the sensor. Also, there's a lot of trouble with the sensor. There are some capacitors that can leak off or be bad. So if you change the capacitors, your sensor is good to go. But if it's fully damaged, we have one here for sale. As you can see, there's a lot of parts at the table. So let's move all the parts and have a clear table to work on. So we have cleaned the table a little bit, and let's try to remove some cables. There's some cables here we need to remove. Here, and we're still stuck with this one. So let's try to remove, there are some screws we need to remove here. Let's just continue with that. Here we go. Let's lift this up. And we can remove the cable from here. Let's remove this one, PCB 21. This is for the microphone for mini jack, and PCB 21. Let's try to remove. I'm still. Oh, here we go. Let's remove this one. This is holder for the transformer. And if we could remove the cables, I think we need to remove the back cover. Let's save for that. Can we lift this one up? The button PCB board up. Let's try to put. I'm not quite sure how we did it last time. Here we go. Here we go. This is the buttons. I should not push too hard, but this one is very hard to remove. Here we go. Here we go. And this is the PCB board 11. And the other one is 12. So it's actually a complete one, but we're gonna take it off and set it separately. So this is the buttons. So let's try to remove the cables. I'm not quite sure, but let's try to remove this one. There's a tiny little bit screw here we need to remove. Okay, this screw cannot come off. I don't know why, but I think what I can remember, we need to pull this. I think this one is holding its place. I think we need to remove this one. We have finally removed the screws and the plastic part. I think we can remove this one. Here we go. I think we also need to remove there are some screws we need to remove. There's 2 screws. The final screw is removed, and remove the holder. There's also some screws here we need to remove. And here we go. We can remove the cables. I don't know this cable, but this wiring for this laser unit. And here is the Here is the aluminum chassis. Also, I'll put all the part numbers in the video. I'm gonna put this aside. And here we go. Here's the cable. It will be sold like this. This is the plastic part for it, but it will be sold like this. This is the wiring for the microprocessor to the CD mechanism. I think we need to remove the backplate, so we're gonna put this one upside down. We need to remove some screws back here. So I'm gonna split the process again. We have finally removed all the screws. I think we can just lift it off. And here is the complete back chassis. Gonna put it aside. And here is the chassis for the BeoSound 9000. Gonna remove all the cables. Also, it's very interesting what we started with and what we ended. It's completely empty. Let's try to remove the cables. Here we go. This is the complete frame chassis for the BeoSound 9000. The last thing we need to do is bring up the aluminum frame. We have steel parts we need to remove. This one. As I promised, I'm removing all the parts. Gonna lay down this one. I know the table is messed up and there's a lot of things. But don't worry, I will clean all the parts up, and yeah, I think we can just roll it out, this one. Yeah. And so this is the slide mechanism. Yeah, let's try to focus on this one. Let's remove the parts. Let's try to remove this one. Let's grab some tools, screws, and let's try to remove this one. Also, all the parts you are seeing here will be for sale. Just contact us and we'll be ready on emails, and you can also call us. We are actually located in Denmark. And I think we can just remove the spring. There we go. The springs. And this one, removing the gearing mechanism. Oh! And some other parts for the CD mechanism. I think we need to remove this one. Okay, that flat way. So we need to pull this up. Remove one. Here we go, same as this one. Can we remove this? Stuck some way. Can move this one. It can move right and left, but how is this stuck? This plastic parts here. Can we remove those ones? Okay, I think we can pop this out. and remove this here. Here we go. That's the same as this one. Out, and here we go. Also, I will be listing all the parts, and it'll be taking. That will be also a job to do, but it's also nice to have a database where you can find all the parts for this BeoSound 9000. Also, if you're missing some parts, if this part is broken, or this plastic part is broken, you can find it out. So let's try to see if we can. I'm not quite sure how we remove this one. Boom, 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 boom. Can you pop it up like this? And no, it can't move. I think we can press it up, and here we go. Part is removed, and this one will be sold. No, there's one screw here. Let's find out. Okay, I never removed that before. I think it's the weight, something like that. And this one has some spring on here. I think I'm gonna leave that as is. But let's, okay, you know what, let's remove also, we need to remove all the parts, and let's try to remove the wheels. Lay it down. Here we go. We have removed the spacers, all the clips. Gonna remove the wheels. Also, the wheels can be very in bad condition, so it can slide probably. So you sometimes also need to clean that. But all these will be ready for sale if you need ones. Yes, I'm gonna put it here. So if there are any parts left, yes. Let's try to remove the spring. Go. Spring here too. And there's some clips. I think we are done. I think I can't remove those ones. Yes, the part will be sold like this. And yeah. And those also attach some way. I think we can't remove it. Yeah, I think we are finally done with the slide. So we're gonna clean the table out again and bring up the big aluminium frame. Here is the big aluminium frame part where the CD can be placed in this. I think the Bang Olufsen has done this in cheap way, but it's working. So also we need to remove the lenses. Just be careful when you do it. So let's try to remove. Let's try to remove the screws here. And see if we can remove the big frame. So I'm gonna speed up the process again and remove all the screws here. And yeah, let's try to continue with that. We have finally unscrew all the screws. I think when I remove this one, it will pop up. No. Here's the aluminum frame and the other one. There's a cable that is going through. Let's try to remove all springs. So this is for where the CD is holding. So yes, so let's try to manage all the, and here we go. So next step will be removing the lenses. The lenses is hiding here, so we're gonna remove that. Here we go. And here we go. Here is the lens. And we have also solved a lot of these because sometimes the slide fall all the way down and hit the lens, and if the lens is broken, you need to have a new one, otherwise the BeoSound 9000 will not work. So put the lens here, and let's remove the cable, and remove the tape here, and we can remove this one. There we go. And this is also a plastic part there. Remove the tape. Again, remove the lens. And here we go. And here is the aluminum frame with the laser B27 and PCB 28. I'm gonna put this one aside. And here is the aluminum frame. Let's put this one here, so it'll be sold like this. Next step is to bring up the frame. Let's clean the table again, and this is the important part. I know the table is very messed up. There's a lot of parts for BeoSound 9000, but you know what? I'm just doing for the YouTube stuff, so that's great. Let's remove the PCB 14. Here we go. Let's remove this one. Here is the PCB board. And let's focus to remove this board. This board is, I don't know why they done it this way, but they have burned some plastic onto the board so it can stick on to the LED indicators. But let's try to remove that also. Normally I heat it up, but let's try to remove with the screwdriver. Here we go. And the next one. Here. And just be careful not break any lines or transistors on the board. Just be careful, take your time. Like this, and this board is removed. Next one. Here we go. Oh, okay. That was not good. As you can see, I damaged this way, but it's just for the audience. Maybe when you do it, just do it that way so you don't mess up this line. So always be careful when you do this, or you can just heat it up and melt it. Here we go. As you can see, I damaged this line, but that's okay. Here we go. Normally this part is one part, but this is the PCB board 24 and this is the PCB board 25. So we have completely removed all the parts from this one, nearly all the parts. We have still some parts we need to remove, and those one is very hard to remove, but I will give it a shot anyway. So let's remove it. Here we go. And this one was broken. This is very weak point. Bang Olufsen has done this in plastic, so if they have done in aluminium or another type of material, they will be much better. So we're gonna put this one aside, and we have one screw left here. Sometimes it's very stuck, and how they manage to do that. Here we go. Here's the other parts, and we have finally removed all the parts from this cabinet or chassis. I'm gonna put this one aside. The final part will be the final part is this one. This is the final part. This is from the CD laser slide with the digital LED lights on. So we're gonna remove all the parts. Here we go. This is the LED lights. And here we go. The last screw is out. And let's try to remove it if we can. I don't know why this one is stuck, still stuck. Okay, there's a cable down here. Let's remove this one. Go. Let's remove. Can we remove this one or can we not? That's very strange. I've done it many times, but let's see what we can figure out here. This one cannot be moved. Yo, here we go. But cables is still stuck. Here we go. Here we go. This one is the PCB board 7. And here is the complete aluminium, no, not aluminium, the plastic part. Let's try to remove, if we can. I think they have, no, I think we can just press this one out. Here we go. 2 parts. This will be sold like this. So we are actually done. We have removed all the parts from the BeoSound 9000 MK1 version, Mark 1 version. So I will clean all the table out, bring all the parts at the table, and bring up the parts and see what it is. So yeah, let's do it. So at the table, as you can see, we have cleaned the table, and we have all the electronics parts. At my side, we have all the CD parts, frames, cables, plastic parts. I will bring them at the next, what is called next frame. So this is the PCB board 21. This is for the mini jack. And this is for the light indicator. It's PCB board 13. This is the LED CD slide, PCB board 7. And here is the input board. This is the PCB board 2 with the MasterLink and PowerLink input. The motor controller for the slide, PCB board 18. This is the PCB board 87 for the AM FM board. The motor itself for the slide CD mechanism. And this is the relay, PCB board 5. Here is not a PCB board. I don't know what it is for, but it was in this side where the transformer was. This is the PCB board for the CD mechanism for the VAM 1205. And here is the sensor for the CD. It was placed in this area. Here is the another PCB board 15. It was also for the laser mechanism. And this is the PCB board, I don't know what this is, for 23. It's also, it was down under the PC mechanism. And this is for PCB board 16, also for CD mechanism. The gearing motor, complete, fully functional. And this is actually a very weak point. Also, I don't know why Bang Olufsen have made this in this material. They must done in I think they have done in plastic or something. They should made it in iron or alloy, something like that. Here is the most important board, the power supplier and the microprocessor. The next one is the transformer board. The next one is the PCB board 11 and 12 for the buttons at the sides where you can select the CDs. And the light indicator 24 and 25. So this was all the electronic parts, but we also have the, can call it electronic, the motor for the CD player. Put it here. So this was all the parts for the electronic side. Let's move all the boards and bring up the aluminium, not the kit, all the other parts. Also, I forgot one electronic part. Is a PCB board 4. Is for the on-off switch. So yeah, I couldn't not bring all the parts, so I took some parts from the area. So we have the where the CD's physical sits, and we have the chassis frame for the CD mechanism, and we have some opening for the lids for this one where it sits, and we have the keyboard itself, and we have this beautiful aluminium Bang Olufsen logo. And over here in this lot we have all the aluminium parts that sit on the CD mechanism. We have here we have where's the wires going on. This one is, I don't know what it's called, but I will put in the description. And here is the plastic part where it sits like this. So yeah, and this one is supposed to be like this. And yeah, I think basically we have done it, but here is the glass itself. Here is the plastic part. Here is the aluminium chassis from the front. Here is the aluminium profile for the CD input. Here is the complete chassis. And the last one is the back cabinet. We have finally done. We have removed all the parts, and I hope you enjoy. And also, I hope you learned something. How the Bang & Olufsen BeoSound 9000 MK1 version has been put in place. It was the first production of the BeoSound 9000. I hope you learned something, and I hope you will like this video. And yeah, share this video and like the comment, and remember, subscribe to my channel, and have a nice day.